Hello and welcome. Live from the channel's television global headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, you're watching Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and today our focus would be on the southeast. But before we get into most of the stories coming in from that region, let's have a snippet of the top stories making rounds at the moment. The Nigerian army says it has killed 16 Boko Haram terrorists as they attempted to infiltrate the 25 Task Force Brigade headquarters in Dambao near Sambisa Forest, Borno State. According to a statement from the Army, troops of the Joint Task Force Operations Hiding Kai repelled the attack at about 1 a.m. today. They also recovered weapons and materials used to manufacture improvised explosive devices. Meanwhile, spokesperson of the Northeast JTF, Captain Ruben Kofganyi, says the success was aided by the timely intervention of the air component of the Joint Task Force. In another operation, troops from the Forward Operation Base Molai with the CJTF conducted an ambush on terrorist crossing points near Komala along the Maiduguri-Dambao road. The strike neutralized an unconfirmed number of the insurgents and led to the recovery of motorcycles, IED components, and other materials. We begin in Ebonyi State, where Governor Francis Nwifuru has launched a statewide drug revolving fund scheme and distributed essential medical equipment to hospitals in the state in a decisive step towards transforming healthcare delivery. The initiative, unveiled at a health activation ceremony in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi State capital, it aims to provide accessible, affordable, and consistent healthcare services across all 13 local government areas, marking a significant milestone in the administration's health sector reforms.
It's a defining moment for Ebonyi State's health sector as Governor Francis Nwifuru, joined by his deputy Patricia Obila, other government officials and healthcare workers, launch a robust healthcare activation program at the Akanu Ibiam International Conference Center in Abakaliki.
Son of the Holy Spirit.
The flag-off marks the beginning of the Drug Revolving Fund Scheme, an initiative that guarantees a steady supply of essential medications by reinvesting proceeds from drug sales to replenish stock.
The evolving nature of the scheme ensures the sustainability, transparency, and accountability. It is a lifeline for our rural communities who will now have access to quality medicine at affordable rates. Already, we have achieved over 60% delivery of essential drugs, and the process continues until full coverage is attained.
Also speaking, Ebonyi State's Commissioner for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Moses Ekuma, lauded the governor's vision and commitment.
Fees in our health insurance scheme was about 35,000, but as we speak, it has increased to 438,000. There was no personal ambulance for emergency medical services and referral system. But it impress us to know that from 29th May 2003 and 23, when His Excellency assumed office as a governor, His Excellency has established high degree of commitment to resuscitating our general hospital.
On her part, the Executive Secretary of the State Drugs and Medical Commodities Management Agency, Mrs. Chiwendu Gioke, explains how the Drug Revolving Fund will reduce the burden of high medical costs.
The sustainability of health commodities in Ebonyi State Ministry of Health is dependent on the effectiveness of this agency. They are to take responsibility of all the drugs and consumables that will be used in all our public health-owned facilities. By the time we have covered 100% of these our facilities, we can extend hands to private and even mission hospitals, just to put checks and balance to all the commodities that come into this state and be sure that we get it at the best.
The ceremony also features the unveiling of a new essential medicine list operational guidelines and standard operating procedures, key tools that will guide effective implementation of the Drug Revolving Fund scheme across the state.
Over in Enugu State, Governor Peter Amba is stepping up efforts to make the state a top destination for investors and innovators. The governor inaugurated a 25-member Ease of Doing Business Council tasked with eliminating long-standing barriers to business growth. The initiative is part of a broader strategy to position Enugu as a thriving hub for investments, tourism, and economic development.
Seated at the Government House in Enugu are members of the newly constituted Enugu East of Doing Business Council, a 25-man committee tasked with making the state a more attractive and efficient place for investors and entrepreneurs. Governor Peter Amba, who chairs the council, emphasizes that the initiative is part of broader reforms aimed at driving economic growth and fostering a business-friendly environment across all sectors of the state.
This is also in line with the state action on business-enabling reforms. So we are essentially putting this in place to ensure that you act as that body that oversees all these indicators to ensure that the state, I'm also part of you as the chairman of the council. And so we're all going to make sure that we work hard to get the state closer to the frontier of the ease of doing business.
Following the inauguration, key stakeholders expressed optimism about the council's potential to transform Enugu's economic landscape.
The world economy is changing so fast, and the best way to, get into it and be recognized is what is done today, the ease of doing business. Because the more we attract business and investment in the state, the better for the state. And then in that way, we will really enter the world map as one of those states in Nigeria that you can go and invest in business.
We are going to be the wagon that is going to carry this message, letting people, investors to come, that this Enugu is the safest place to invest. One is the security. Anybody that we are bringing in must always ask you about security. Governor are taking care of it. Technology, governor have taken care of it. Structure, infrastructure, governor have taken care of it. So we, being inaugurated today, will just carry the message and bring people to invest in Enugu State. Enugu State is a safe haven.
The state government also highlights several key enablers that will support the ease of doing business, among them the Enugu State Geographic Information System, ENGIS, investment in ultra-modern security infrastructure, and the development of transport, digital infrastructure, and skilled manpower. With reforms now in motion, the Mba administration says it's laying the groundwork for sustainable economic transformation, one that puts Enugu on the map as a top-tier business destination in the country.
Abia State is taking a bold step into the future of public transportation as Governor Alex Otti has announced the procurement of 20 electronic buses as part of his administration's transport revolution. The announcement came during a vibrant public event in Abia where residents gathered to celebrate what they describe as a promise fulfilled, the reconstruction of the long-abandoned Port Harcourt Road. The event also highlighted the governor's commitment to modern infrastructure and transparent leadership.
It was a day of celebration and reflection in Abia, the commercial heartbeat of Abia State, as residents gathered in their thousands for the Promise Kept Carnival, a show of gratitude for Governor Alex Otti's efforts in infrastructure and public service renewal. The venue, Umuabai Secondary School, along the newly reconstructed 6.7-kilometer Port Harcourt Road, served as both a symbol and stage of transformation.
We have paid for the 20 electric buses. We paid them. So they are bringing the buses to carry you and I, because the buses will be beautiful. You know the kind of buses you see abroad? That is the buses you will see in Abia.
The governor's remarks drew cheers from a crowd that included captains of industry, political leaders, students' bodies and residents, many of whom have waited decades for roads like these to be completed.
Abia is truly a state in Nigeria where the governors are dancing in celebration of their governor, just like what is happening today. Everybody is dancing, everybody is rejoicing, including those who do not support before. Now they have supported because the difference is clear. Continue what you have been. We are in your support. All the landlords in the 5 local governments in Abia, which were under control of Abia, we support you day and night.
Governor Oti also used the occasion to recognize integrity, rewarding a local tricycle driver with 1.4 million naira for returning 2.4 million naira left behind by a passenger.
And you returned 2.4 million naira. You will be leaving here today with 1.4 million naira.
Former representative of Abia Central Senatorial District, Darlington Wokocha, praises the governor's leadership, calling him a beacon of focused governance and decisive action.
I want to join the entire Abians and all the people within this community, within this state, and even in diaspora, to congratulate you and to thank you for setting Abia free and granting great freedom for us. Some years ago, we had only one road into Abia, both going in and coming out, one exit. But today, I can tell you that you can come from Omongase and pass through Port Harcourt Road or pass through Obo Hill. We can see everything.
With electric buses on the horizon and more projects underway, the people of Abia say the tide has turned and the journey towards a modern, connected state has truly begun.
The wife of the Anambra State's governor, Mrs. Noya Soludo, is making a strong case for moral regeneration in schools. Speaking at a stakeholders' congress in Awka, she called for immediate and practical steps to address the growing decline in values among school children.
The atmosphere at the International Convention Center in Awka is charged with purpose as key education stakeholders converge for a one-day congress themed Moral Regeneration and Value Reorientation at the Basic Education Level, the role of education stakeholders in Anambra State. A major champion of this cause is the wife of the Anambra State Governor, Noya Soludo, whose arrival signals the commencement of the event. Chairman of the Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, ASUBEB, Dr. Vera Nwadinobi, describes basic education as a foundation for moral, civic and intellectual growth, urging proper character cultivation during the formative years.
This includes government officials, school administrators, teachers, parents, community leaders, civil society actors, and religious institutions, and of course our students, our pupils, to learn that when their teachers ask them, float them, the teacher is training them.
A guest speaker, a professor in political science, Frank Collins Okafor, urges education stakeholders to appreciate the urgency of the challenges, calling for improved values and ideological reforms.
The theme of the Congress, moral regeneration and moral reorientation at the basic education level. The role of the stakeholders stands out in pointing out two of the most urgent actions needed at the basic education level if we really want to get it right this time around.
For Mrs. Soludo, the issue runs deeper. She attributes the decline to societal pressures and weakening family bonds, calling for a comprehensive rethink of the educational model. To support the drive for smart learning, Mrs. Soludo donates laptops to selected schools but emphasizes that technology alone is not the answer.
As a parent or a guardian, you have to pay attention to your child's growth and development at this point. Who do they associate with? What do they like engaging themselves in? Look out for behavioral changes and their off-road habits. Always bring them closer to you. Make them your best friends. Let them be at ease with interacting with you. Share family time. Have dinner together and chat over the dining table. Let your life be a perfect example for them. Treat them equally. A child who has been raised well by their parents will translate the right moral and behaviors in the classroom.
With voices united in concern and purpose, the Congress is described as a clarion call for action towards reclaiming the moral compass in Anambra schools and securing the future of the next generation.
You're watching Newsroom series live on Channels Television. Still ahead, we'll bring you updates on the Art Festival coming up in Enugu State. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Enugu State Governor, Peter Amba, has assured the National Council for Arts and Culture that his government will provide an enabling environment for the 2025 edition scheduled to hold in Enugu. He made this commitment when he met with the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Mr. Obi Asika, and his team at the government's house in Enugu. Commending the governor for his giant strides, which, according to him, birthed the decision to bring NAFEST to Enugu, Mr. Asika said the event, which will hold from November 22nd to 29, 2025, with the theme Connected Culture, will emphasize on the celebration of Nigeria and Africa's diverse cultures, amongst others.
The event runs for 1 week, and we structured the event to be a gateway to Dirty December, which in itself we are expanding this year. Part of what we're doing is making sure that this event is relevant to the younger demographic, not just the older demographic, and it's also a more modern way of presenting culture. One of the things that we really wanted to leave you with is the fact that we're hoping to invite South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, Senegal to participate in NAFEST this year. NAFEST has almost always been domestic only, but we've been building relationships around the world for Nigeria, and what we are finding is that everybody's interested.
This is quite a situation where opportunity meets preparation. So you're going to, I can assure you, you're going to have one of the most memorable national festival of arts and culture, right? Because we're ready and we're hungry for it. Why this is like a marriage made in heaven, because we're going to do everything to ensure that the objective of the national festival is achieved and that we provide you with the environment.
It's a moment of pride and reflection at the Anambra State-run tertiary institution Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, as the institution marks its silver jubilee. To celebrate 25 years of academic excellence, the university held a colorful Heritage Day at its Igbariam campus, showcasing the rich cultural diversity of its students and staff. Acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Kate Omenoga says the university has made remarkable strides since its establishment in the year 2000, with over 23,000 students, 14 faculties, and 54 fully accredited departments.
The Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University's Heritage Day event starts with tree planting at the Igbariam campus as the university continues with its mission to plant 1 million trees before the end of 2025.
Praise the Lord.
The Heritage Day celebration begins with a colorful procession reflecting the university's values of excellence, unity and pride, that Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu represented.
Today we're celebrating our legacy, our growth, our trajectories, our challenges, and our strive to be a greater COO. With a same population, when we started 25 years ago, 500 undergraduates, we now have about 23,500 undergraduates. That's massive. You see, from academic staff of about 23, we now have about 667.
And culture.
The lecture from the Director General of the National Council of Arts and Culture, Obi Asika, and speech by the wife of the COOU iconic figure, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, revolve around creating identity and expanding the future of the institution.
Together we can build the future we want with hard and soft power, providing the enabling infrastructure, especially digital, that will unlock everything. We need to digitize and connect our markets, empower our universities to drive innovation, and tell our stories through destination marketing, festivals, film, music, comedy, fashion, literature, and digital content, i.e. content creators. We want to build a global Igbo soft power brand, one name, to connect us with Nigeria and the Black diaspora, to change how we are perceived. We need to reject conspiracies, collaborate, and build forward together.
As we honor the past, we must also look ahead with renewed purpose. The next 25 years will demand from us a bold reimagination of what is possible. Let us commit to transforming COOU into a global center of excellence, embracing digital innovation, fostering international partnerships, and becoming a leader in research and development that addresses African challenges with African solutions.
Awards presentation comes up next, and in 4 categories, including Ojukwu Legacy Award, Icons of Sustainable Development, Pace Setters Award, and the Alumni Award.
Each of the Foundation Faculties of Science, Engineering, and Environment.
The name is a priceless name. You cannot price it. It's priceless. Therefore, the lives of us and each and every one of us must thrive in your own way, any way you can impact on this university. Don't hesitate. Impact on it. You can see God has been so kind to the university and to Anambra State.
Other stakeholders promise to do more to support the state-run institution.
I made a promise of bringing a project, building a multipurpose hall, classroom building every year in Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University, Uli campus.
The day is rounded off with cultural displays by the students of the institution from 24 states across the country, showcasing the diversity and unity of COOU.
In commemoration of its 61st anniversary, the Nigerian Air Force has extended a hand of care and compassion to the people of Agbala community in Imo State. The 211 Quick Response Group in Owerri organized a free medical outreach aimed at strengthening civil-military relations. Our correspondent Eyitokwe Kutei reports.
Agbala community in Owerri North local government area of Imo State plays host to the Nigerian Air Force 211 Quick Response Group. This week, that connection brought life-saving healthcare directly to residents, completely free of charge. In celebration of the Nigerian Air Force 61st anniversary, the group rolls out a comprehensive medical outreach offering general health checkups, eye care services, free eyeglasses, deworming for children, as well as treatments for minor ailments.
The community, they've been of immense help to the 211 Quick Response Group. We have collaborated a lot in many ways, and they've cooperated with us in a lot of areas. So, and this is the reason why we are doing this as a way to say thank you for all you've been doing.
The traditional ruler of the Agbala ancient kingdom, His Royal Majesty Okechukwu Onu, welcomes the gesture with gratitude, noting the long-standing peaceful relationship between the community and the military.
Talk of outside health, because we say health before any other. When you don't have a good health, it won't be any other thing we are talking. They should be assisting us more in terms of health and security of our place, to make sure there's no much problem that these things that do happen from one community or the other, to assist us in combating crime.
And for many residents, this outreach couldn't have come at a better time.
Actually, what brought me here was my vision and the swell at my backhead. So the doctor recommended that I should use this window and come to their main hospital. But they have checked on me and given me glasses, and I like what they are doing.
I've been dealing with eye problem for since I was very little. So anything that concerns eye is very expensive. So when people hear that they were coming for the outreach, even me myself, I thought it was just normal something. Maybe they will eventually ask for money. So, but when I came and I heard it is free, so I'm glad I came, because if I didn't come, I wouldn't have known that it is free.
The 211 Quick Response Group says this is just the beginning, with similar outreaches planned for neighboring communities, a gesture that's not only providing care, but also building confidence and community spirits. Channels Television News.
And that's where we draw the anchor on this edition of Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.